Hello everyone, it's That Teacher, and today's lesson is going to be on converting fractions into decimals. Let's start learning. Welcome back to our channel everyone, thank you for tuning into today's lesson. Now the first thing we are going to cover in today's lesson is our essential fractions to decimals conversion table. Now once you learn and understand all the information on this table, the whole process will be much easier. So for example, when you automatically know that 1/2 is going to equal 0.5, 1/4 is going to equal 0.25, and 1/5 is going to equal 0.2. Everything will be much easier, and some questions you won't have to show any working out. You automatically know from the knowledge which is inside of your head. So the first question here is 2/4. So we have 2/4 here. Now we need to convert this into a decimal. The first thing we need to do is put this into a division algorithm style of question with our denominator on the outside and our numerator on the inside. So we are dividing 2 by 4. Now we can't divide 2 by 4 because you need to think how many 4s can fit inside of 2. That is not going to work. So we're going to put a 0 there. So we need to add a decimal point high, a decimal point low, and a 0. Now you combine the two numbers here. So how many 4s can now fit into 20? See, now it will make more sense and you'll be able to easily solve this question. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 5 4s can fit evenly into 20. So our answer here is going to be 0.5. The second example is going to be 3/4. Remember, put this into a division algorithm with our denominator on the outside and our numerator on the inside. So, how many 4s can fit evenly into 3? The answer is going to be 0. Now remember, once you put the 0, you put a decimal point high, a decimal point low, and a 0. So what this will do is allow us to further divide this number into its decimal form. Now, remember, we combine the 3 and the 0. Don't worry about the decimal point here because that's going to be a bit confusing. Just think of the numbers themselves. So, how many 4s can fit into 30? Now, we know that that is going to be 7. Now, we've used 28 of the 30 numbers here, so there's going to be 2 remainders. Now, what you need to do with the remainders is you need to put another 0. You can add as many zeros as you want because you're not adding any value here, you're just adding zeros which have no value. So, add the 0, but you need to put your remainders in front of that 0 and combine those two numbers. So, how many 4s can fit evenly into 20? Now remember, your remainders go in front of the 0 that you added. You combine those two numbers, now you have 20. How many 4s can fit evenly into 20? That answer is 5. Your answer here is going to be 0.75. Example 3. We have 3/7. Now this might be a little bit more tricky, but we're going to follow exactly the same process. So the first step, always put this into division algorithm with our denominator on the outside and our numerator on the inside. So how many 7s fit evenly into 3? Okay, so 3 divided by 7, you can't really do it. So we need to add a 0 here, and remember, 1 decimal point high, 1 low, and a 0. Now, how many 7s can fit into 30? So as you can see, remember, we add the two numbers on the bottom, we combine them. Now you've got 30. So how many 7s can fit evenly into 30? That answer is going to be 4, 7, 14, 21, 28. Now, there are 2 remainders there because remember, we have used 28 of our 30 possible numbers here. So remember, add another 0 and put your remainders in front of that 0, creating the new number 20. So how many 7s can fit evenly into 20? Well, that's going to be 2. So we've used 7, 14. So we've used 14 out of 20, which means there is going to be 6 remainders left. Remember, you can add as many zeros as you want if this is going to help. But in a question, I would probably maximum go to 3 decimal places. Anything else is going to be extra, and your teacher won't mark that incorrect. 3 decimal places, you can't go wrong, you're gonna get that tick. So add the 0, and like I said, 7, 14, we've used 14 out of the 20 numbers, which means we actually have 6 remainders. Now, follow exactly the same process. 6 and the 0 creates 60. How many 7s can fit evenly into 60? That answer is going to be 8. Now, don't worry about the remainders here. Like I said, 3 decimal points is more than enough to get this answer correct, okay? So, our last question here is going to be 5/9. Now remember, division algorithm with our 9 on the outside and our 5 on the inside. How many 9s can fit evenly into 5? That answer is 0, it's already there for you. The next step is a decimal point high, a decimal point low, and a 0. So now how many 9s can fit evenly into 50? So 50 divided by 9, that answer is going to be 5. So you've used 45 of the possible 50 numbers, which means you have 5 remainders. Add another 0, throw the remainders in front. Now, how many 9s can go into 50 again? We already know that's going to be 5. Now, like I said, if you want to be really careful, cross your T's, dot your I's. You need to add 1 more decimal place. So we're going to add the thousandths there. Add a 0, the 5 remainders go in front. Follow exactly the same process. How many 9s can fit evenly into 50? That's going to be 5. Your answer here is going to be 0.555. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with sorting out and converting fractions into decimals. Now, I've put some questions for you to do at home. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much for getting through it, supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Now, pause it here, show you working out, do your thing, and the answers are going to come in about 5 seconds. If you're watching this around New Year's time, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and hopefully 2025 is going to be a good year for everyone. Here are the answers to your question. So, as you can see here are the answers. I'm sure you would have done a fantastic job if you had followed the simple steps involved when you're converting fractions into decimals. It's that teacher. Hope you're having a great day. We'll see you in the next lesson.